you stop with that camera already, Freddy? This guy's nuts.
Larry, you want some chicken?
Come on, Freddy, will you stop? I'm gonna shoot you.
On January 10th, 1983, on his 42nd birthday, DeMeo went to crew member Patty Testa's house for a meeting and birthday celebration with his men. That meeting would not turn out to be a celebration, but DeMeo's last day. Roy was one of Castellano's most loyal soldiers, as well as one of his biggest earners. Having over 100 hits and up to 200 under their belt, the DeMeo crew was the most feared mobster crew in the city. Not even the toughest mafiosos wanted to get on DeMeo's bad side. They killed without hesitation if they thought someone would become a witness against them and their crimes. However, when DeMeo caught a charge, Castellano turned that same sentiment against him, ordering the hit of DeMeo so he could not testify against him, just in case. DeMeo's son Albert wrote that in his final days, DeMeo was paranoid and knew that he would be killed soon. In his final days, DeMeo was seen wearing a leather jacket with a shotgun concealed underneath. DeMeo considered faking his own death even. That night, he failed to attend his daughter Dion's birthday party, which caused his family to be suspicious. Albert DeMeo, his son, later found Roy's personal belongings, such as his watch, wallet, and ring in his study room, and a Catholic pamphlet. That night, an NYPD detective observed DeMeo's vehicle, a 1983 Cadillac bearing his license plate, parked on East 28th Street and Emmons Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, in the center island. He called the license tag into a friend and said that the car looked strange in the area. When he got the report back, there was no hit on the license, since the car had not been reported wanted. Detective continued to observe the car parked in the same spot, and on January 20th, 1983, took the VIN number and had it run through a friend in the NYPD Auto Crime Squad. When the VIN came back as Roy DeMeo's vehicle, they immediately made the connection. With the ongoing federal task force investigation, especially there being 4 members assigned to the task force, this notification was made at 11 a.m. on January 20th to the sergeant of the task force. The sergeant took his men to the vehicle and seized it at 11:35 a.m. He then advised also Walter Mack of the situation and requested a warrant to enter the trunk. He instructed that he would contact DeMeo's attorney and get consent to enter the trunk, which he did. When first observed, the vehicle was locked and there were no signs of foul play visible. The sergeant then arranged to have the vehicle towed to NYPD Highway Unit located on Flatbush Avenue, Brooklyn. At 4 p.m., the sergeant received authorization from Officer Mack to enter the trunk. When the trunk was opened, the body of Roy DeMeo was observed laying sideways with a chandelier lying on top. DeMeo appeared to be shot 4 times, twice in the head and once in the chest and back. He also had bullet holes in his hands. His leather jacket was removed and wrapped around his head. His shirt and undershirt were pulled up under his arms, indicating that he had been shot outside the car with his jacket off and then dragged to the car and placed in the trunk. His body was partially frozen when found in the trunk, and the bullet wound in his hand assumed by law enforcement to be a reflexive, defensive wound caused when his killers opened fire on him. The task force investigating the DeMeo crew theorized that DeMeo was set up in a similar manner to how he set up Rosenberg, and that Gaggi, Testa, and Center were present when he was killed. In 1984, Colombo crime family soldier Ralph Scopo was overheard explaining to an associate that DeMeo had been killed by his own family on orders from Paul Castellano because he merely suspected that he would not be able to stand up to legal charges that resulted from his stolen car ring. Things quickly began unraveling for the Gambino crew as indictments came shortly after for the boss, Castellano. Also, Senta, Testa, and Gadji were locked up for life shortly after as well. Castellano was killed 14 months after DeMeo's murder. Many believed that if DeMeo was still around, Gotti wouldn't have attempted to kill Castellano.
Will you stop with that camera? Ready. This guy's nuts.
Mary wants some chicken.
Alright, ready. Will you stop? I'm gonna shoot you.